Ready, set, go.
Is this thing on? I don't have enough volume. Yes, indeedy. I came all the way from Madison, Ohio, all the way to Philippi, West Virginia.
Yes, indeed.
I'm on the phone. I'm on location, in studios.
Byron come all the way from Ohio just to bring that show in tonight.
Yes, I did. And you know who this is.
I forgot all about that.
You know who this is.
What was it, BF Leavell we call him? Byron F. Leavell or something?
That's it.
Byron M.F. and Leavell.
Byron, first time in studio, right, man?
Yes, it is.
Now, we was talking before we got started that you had the record for a while for guest appearances.
Yes, I did.
And I think somebody else tied you, and this should be the tiebreaker right here. But I'm trying to remember who the other two-timer was. Do you remember, John?
No.
For some reason, it's not...
Of course, I ain't been around here a whole lot on the podcast.
It's been a little while, but I can't. Now it's going to bug me till I figure out who it was. But this should put you back firmly in the lead, Byron.
It needs to. I need to stay there. I need to stay there. One of your biggest fans. But yeah,
If not the biggest fan.
I think I am the biggest fan.
You probably are. You probably are. I look. I don't know, and I'll edit out what section that you're in. What town in Ohio are you in?
Oh, ain't nobody gonna find me. You ain't got to edit out. I'm in Tuslaw. Come find me, okay? If you want, come see me. After I'm to find out.
It's time to FAFO, baby.
Yeah, don't.
I actually
What
got
they
one of
gonna
those
do?
patches on my motorcycle vest. One of
Yeah.
the FAFO patches.
Yeah, the lead guy from the. No, seriously, work that out. I don't want them to come after me.
I got you covered, man.
Yeah.
Are you around the Maslin area?
Yes, I am.
So I think he is the biggest fan because when I look at Ohio, which I think I'll have to pull it up. I'll have to do some editing here.
Oh, you got your demographics, huh?
Yeah, we can pull right up let's pull up the demographics here. Yeah, look at there. Ohio's our number one area. Maslin is number 2 in Ohio.
Columbus?
Yeah, Columbus is number 1.
Oh, I'm about to listen to even more now.
Here's the thing.
Columbus.
I don't know a single person in Columbus.
Me neither. Oh, wait. Okay, my auntie. She lives in Columbus, but she wouldn't listen to this. For sure, she wouldn't listen to this.
She ain't listening to this show.
She'd be like, this is racist.
This is...
Why would you be on that show, Byron?
Load of raisins.
Bunch of hillbillies.
Well, here's the thing. Look at this. Texas, it's a number 4 area. They even that outranks West Virginia. And I know...
Oh, wow.
I think I know maybe 2 people in Texas. Maybe. Mm-hmm. And it's people the one guy I met in D.C. at a rally that shall not be named.
Why not? It wasn't a bad one.
It wasn't the bad one, FBI. This one was in November, I do believe. I did skip oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Glad
I
we
did.
didn't go to January 6th.
I skipped January 6th.
That's right, you did.
You went in November, and then we both went
I was
in
there in
December.
November, and in December. And,
got raided.
Oh, my Lord. It could have got so freaking bad. But yeah, I met a guy there when I was there in November, I think it was, and kind of kept up with him a little bit. You know, we kept in touch. And then I've been talking to one of the fans of the show. And me and him, you know, we exchange voice messages. I hate typing out stuff. Mm-hmm. So we'll send voice messages back and forth on Facebook every couple of days or so. And I think that is just about the only people I know in Texas. But they're number 4 demographic for us.
I know I don't know anybody in Texas.
So you're on West Virginia, and you're...
West Virginia's number 6 for us.
West Virginia, what's going on?
I know. 4% of our listeners are in West Virginia.
3% in D.C.
FBI.
That's all the FBI?
Yeah, the FBI listed.
And the CIA.
That's all the FBI listening in D.C.
Goodness gracious.
Trying to mark us down as domestic terrorists.
I repeat, I was not at January 6th.
Neither was I.
Well, that one guy I know, he was there. He tried to tell, because of course the FBI come talking to him, and he tried to tell him that his phone got stolen, and that's why his phone was tracked out there. But then he had videos of himself walking out of the Capitol. I was like, well, that don't work.
All of a sudden, my alibi ain't working, boys. There's some weird stuff going on with that whole January 6th thing.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I don't know all the details behind it, but I just get these little bits and pieces occasionally. Like the people that's getting held there. There was a guy, I listened to Tim Pool. He's based out of West Virginia here somewhere. And he had a guy on, and this guy, he got hit with, he had to make a plea deal. The only thing he did was stand there in video outside of the Capitol. And they tried to say that there was a voice that you could hear on the video, and this guy says it wasn't him. And the FBI was saying, you were the one saying that. Somebody hollered, take this guy's shield. It was a cop. Had one of his riot shields. Somebody hollered, take his shield. And the FBI was like, that was you. And he's like, no, it's not. And they're like, yeah, it was. And you're being charged with, they were charging him with, he would have got like 20 to 30 years if he would have got convicted. And here's the weird thing. The FBI has like a 99%, or just the federal government, with their prosecutors and stuff, they have like a 99% conviction rate.
Ain't nobody got that kind of conviction rate.
Nobody's got that kind of rate. But basically goes to show when these guys get charged, you take the plea deal.
Oh,
You're not going to beat that.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
Yep.
But see, the thing about it is nobody's talking about, they have wall-to-wall coverage. Most like CNN and the MSNBC have wall-to-wall coverage on those January 6th series. Nobody's watching that. I'm not watching it.
No, I'm not watching it.
I mean, there's more problems out there besides,
right?
You know, a couple of people went on an unofficial tour,
right?
The Capitol. I mean, I'm paying $8 a gallon for gas.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
you know, I just bought chicken at KFC and I had to pay $56 for 25 pieces.
Right?
It's like, really?
Right.
So we're worried about nobody cares about January 6th.
Nobody cares about it.
Fix this inflation that y'all say that it's not whose fault, Biden's fault. Oh, he's blaming Putin.
Yeah. Well, the economy's doing so good. That's why everything's went up.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
Like you said, I don't care about January 6th. It doesn't bother me a bit. To me, there were some guys that got, took the unofficial tour, got overzealous, did something I wouldn't have done. Mm-hmm. All right. So what else? Those clowns on the left burnt down cities all summer long. I don't care about it.
Shouldn't have been treated no differently, but it was because
it was treated differently.
It was the wrong side.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what usually happens. It's the wrong side.
Yes, indeed. John, we had something happen to us yesterday.
Gosh. And this is your guys' fault.
That was a hard segue too, is what that was.
Yeah, it was very hard.
I'm not a big person seeing ghosts behind every tree, but I've seen several ghosts behind several trees. Dude. Tell people what this. Just give them this background. You tell them the story.
What kind of background?
Oh, so there's a house that I used to live in, that my grandpa, your grandpa, used to live in.
And the crazy activity, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
Started, 40 years ago before they ever built the house?
I think so. Yeah.
It was just a basement that was dug, and they's already hearing footsteps and stuff on the roof. Because
our let me try it again. Our great grandpa, yeah, hit it, Byron. I like how you even knew what button it was.
Oh, I knew what button it was.
Yeah, I'd have been pushing every button trying to find Byron's like, I know that button.
Nope. Got a good memory.
It's the first time he's seen the rig and he knows what button it is. Yeah. So our great grandpa, he lived in that basement for a little while they were, it was still getting, there wasn't no top on the house basically, right?
No, they dug the basement, and then if I understand it correctly, then they moved a single wide trailer in on top of the basement, and then Pap is the crazy idea guy as he was. He built a house around the trailer and then pulled the trailer out of the house. So, yeah, they dug the basement out, and then our great-grandpa was living in that basement.
Our Pap was the perfect redneck with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely was. Had a bunch of junk sitting around, but if he needed something, he just went to that little junk pile, got what he needed, welded it together, and it worked.
Now, I also have a lot of junk sitting around, but I can't fix anything. And I know where nothing is. He would know where stuff is. So we were up there at his house, and I lived there for about, how long did I live there? 3 years, maybe?
I think it was about 3 years.
Something like that. He passed away. My grandma passed away in that house. And so we're up there kind of buttoning up some odds and ends. Explain your side of the story. Explain what happened.
I don't know. We can kind of...
Well, maybe we should go back to what Missy saw.
Oh, Mrs. saw it too.
Oh, yeah. She saw something like 2 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, this ain't nothing new, Byron. This has been going on for a while. I remember I was sitting, and there's these doors. So there's these windows beside the front door. And I don't know if it's like French windows. I don't know. But it's one of those, you got your front door, and then there's two little narrow windows beside. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Which is freaking retarded because when somebody knocks on the door, they lean around and look at those windows. Yeah. Which is what I definitely don't want to happen because I'm probably standing in there in my boxer shorts. You know,
or worse, shotgun. The perfect picture of a redneck.
Yeah. But anyways, we were sitting there in the living room, and Miss was so I was sitting on the couch. Miss was standing up. We were having a conversation about something, and she's looking out those windows as we're talking. And all of a sudden, I see her face get freaking terrified, and she's like, "Oh my Lord!" She said, "I just saw your grandma out there." Well, she'd been dead for like at least 3 years at this point, and the look in her eye was like you could tell she wasn't faking it. And then she started crying. Like, she got so scared. She's like, "I just saw your grandma, like, floating across the front porch." And so that freaked me out a good bit. And then I would have these things when I was sleeping up there. And I noticed it definitely in the main room, like in the living area. You'd lay there, and I'd be falling asleep, and I'd either hear, like, on the wall, like somebody just, took their knuckles and pecked on the wall. And it would be just as I was falling asleep, so I'd like snap awake and wasn't sure if I'd actually heard it or not, that whole thing. And I'd either hear that or I would feel this thing. I wouldn't hear it, but I would get this sensation like somebody getting right down in your face and just going, "Ooh," like that. So you'd be falling asleep and all of a sudden you just snap. It's like, what in the world was just in my face? But you were so close to falling asleep, you would kind of, rationalize your way out of it, or I was just dreaming it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the background of what happened up there. Then we went there yesterday, and I saw a freaking cat.
Yeah, Miss had had all the stuff stacked in the living room that she wanted, all the rest of the stuff. Mm-hmm. We was in there just getting ready to. She was just making sure it was everything she wanted. We was getting rid of the empty boxes. And all of a sudden, I just hear Phil say, "Oh, my gosh." I had just said something that I thought was funny, so I thought he was going to laugh at my joke, but that wasn't the case. And I said, "What?" He said, "I just seen a cat run by me."
I remember Miss asked me, she said, "What, like a real cat?" I'm like, "No, not a real cat."
So now we have ghost cats.
Yeah, man.
Cat just comes streaking.
Dude, I was standing there. I'm standing there in the living room, and I see a cat, look like about the size of Mike, because we got two black cats, look like Lester, come flying around the corner, like heading right for my feet. And you were like shining a flashlight because the power's off up there. You were shining a flashlight, and for a minute, I thought it was like shadows playing tricks with me. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, no, that's not the shadows, because you kept shining the flashlight and never saw that again. But it looked like this cat just just hauling hind end. Around this corner. Dude, just carried it. And then he just like disappeared. And never heard his footsteps, never heard nothing. And I remember hearing from, I don't know if he's a Catholic priest or an exorcist or whatever he was. Somebody I heard on maybe Coast to Coast or something like that. Mm-hmm. He said that sometimes demons will like show up as like black cats. He said you'll think you'll see in like a black cat. He's like, it ain't no black cat. He said he was in this lady's house one night. This couple, they'd been having all kinds of trouble. And he said, I kept seeing cats, like just out of the corner of my eye. And so finally I asked him, like, how many cats do you have? Do you have? And they're like, we ain't got no cats. So that, of course, when I saw that, that's what came to my mind.
Well, see, we've been feeling uncomfortable up there for several years. You know, you almost feel like there's always something watching you or something like that.
Well, there's been a lot of, I don't know, but tension around that whole situation too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So, you know, we go up there and we're constantly like snapping over our shoulders and looking around.
Oh, yeah.
Has that house been sold yet?
Oh no, it's tied up in like
airship.
Yeah, so it basically can't be sold.
Oh,
yeah, it's basically just laying there collecting ghosts.
I guess now because and that house needs to be blessed or something. I mean, next time you'll go over there, because I mean, if not, every demon spirit is going to come in there and just think they can just run it. And it's not going to get sold.
I think that's
maybe
what they
if you
think.
set a fire, it might burn the hell out of it.
Yeah, but then where's them demons going to go? They going to jump in the back of my pickup truck and follow me home.
I'll just ride it down the road like a redneck.
So then I saw that. I was hesitant to tell you guys about it, but then I told you. And then I'm outside putting some stuff in the back of the truck, and you approach me with eyes about this big around. And so what happened to you?
We was carrying stuff out of there, out of the living room to your truck. And I, hadn't experienced anything in there that, would make me think, yeah, that's something in there. Like a few taps on the wall or something. It's like, the house has been abandoned for a couple of years, and it's going to settle and make creaking noise. Yeah. I was walking back up onto the porch, and you come through there toting a big old heavy bag like Santa Claus over your shoulder.
Oh, that was when it?
Yeah.
It spoke? Okay.
And so I heard something in the grass over beside of me, but I mean, there's grasshoppers all over there. So
right.
There I didn't think nothing of it.
And the grass was like 6 feet tall.
Well, as I turned to get out of your way, something just right in my face, whispered 4 words, right here in my right ear. It was just right up in my face, and it whispered. I could tell it was 4 words, but I couldn't understand what it said. And so I had just stepped around the dog kennel, and there was a weed that was over touching that. And so when I first heard that, I was like, nah, didn't really think much of it. I'm like, there's got to be an explanation for this. I tried to replicate the sound, and I couldn't. And then I immediately pooped my pants.
4 words. Could have been 5. Calling about your car warranty. So you seriously, it was 4 words, but you couldn't tell what they were.
There were 4 words whispered, but I couldn't understand what it was. And then Missie came out of the house carrying a couple of pillows, and she said, "Hey, that rug in the living room's sitting on the recliner is the last thing in there." And so I
know what the 4 words were.
What's
That's
that?
my rug. Bleep. That's my rug. Bleep.
That's my own rug.
Because I stepped over the threshold of the door, and there was footsteps walking in the living room in front of me.
And this was right after you just heard the voice?
Mm-hmm. Because you went by me, and then Miss went by me, and then I walked in to get that rug. And it caught me off guard, because there was 3 footsteps through the living room right in front of me.
Right directly in front of you.
Mm-hmm. And they were, like I say, they were like big steps, like 4 foot apart, because it went from right in front of me to like the middle of the living room and then to the other side. And then it kind of startled me, so I kind of fell back and caught myself on the door, and I'm like, I snatched that rug and out of there I come. And then Phil is like, hey, sitting on a fireplace over there is that oil lamp I want to take with me. Can you get that?
I didn't know this had happened at this point.
So I was a little brown streak. I left a brown greasy stain through that living room. Grabbing that oil lamp and streaking out the door.
So have y'all got everything out this house?
Pretty much. I got to make a couple more stops up there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So they ain't gonna keep coming after you then.
It is kind of terrifying. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, okay, so I say terrifying. I mean, obviously I'm a believer, so I believe I'm on a better team than that.
Yeah.
But I do think they can still mess with you, and I don't want to be messed with.
We'll stop taking her stuff.
They have inherited that stuff because they've been there long enough.
Well, what was funny was the way like you told me about this, because our conversation, like we weren't like hysterical or no, we weren't screaming, yelling, nothing like that. We was just nervous, and everybody's just kind of doing their thing.
Sure.
I go there, hey, stop talking to me.
I'm trying to change the story, though. But I remember you walked out and you were just like, you were kind of grinning, but at the same, it was one of those grins like, you look like that shell-shocked dude from World War I, where he's just grinning like...
Look like Charles Manson.
Yeah, like he couldn't stop. And you're like, dude, something just talked to me. I remember...
And then Phil pooped his pants.
I remember just being like, beg your pardon? Because you just said it almost like that. You're like, yeah. And, because I thought that was it. And you're like, yeah, and something just walked in front of me in the living room. And, yeah, now Miss didn't see anything that time. She's seen stuff other times. Now, we were back up there today with some other members of the family, and they say they saw nothing. They said they smelled cigars. That's another thing. Tell them about the smell.
Well, that was something more of yours there. I mean, we both...
Yeah, true.
And then, like, today, that was all you.
Okay, so this might be... There's going to be people... if anybody's into the paranormal, they will probably make fun of us on this, because there could be dead mice around. However, if a mouse is dead, you constantly smell him, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if there's a dead mouse in this room, he's going to smell for weeks.
And it's a very distinct...
It's very distinct. We walked in through the main area, walked into one of the bedrooms. And what's up there, my dear? You want in on this ghost story? You're listening to a ghost story? We got a studio audience. Come here, grab a mic. So we're walking in through the main area, and I remember we went to walk into one of these bedrooms, just kind of look things over, right?
Pause your story for a
Do we
minute.
need? Yeah, pause this for a minute. Let's grab another one out of here.
Take a commercial break.
Take a commercial.
There's Mrs. headphones right there.
Well, why don't you keep using that?
What in the world? Is that ghost coming through here?
No.
My,
Probably you're taking her stuff. I would come home with you. I would come home with you if you took my stuff. Yeah. Taking oil lamps and thousand-year-old carpets.
Oh my
there's
goodness.
a flying carpet.
That was.
All right, do we have everybody hooked up finally?
I think
I think
so.
we're actually good, ain't we? There we go.
Are we back?
We got it. Oh, we're back. We actually never left. That's what will be decided in post.
Oh.
That was the most entertaining part of the show. What's Howard Stern got? We ain't got.
Sexy hair.
I guess this will be edited, I guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this will be edited. Where was we even at?
You was getting ready to talk about the smell,
So now we got Miss in here.
which was a mixture of mine and your shorts.
Right. So combination. The smoke was not.
Come on, that was a good one.
That was a good one,
No.
dude. Well, first of all, is this like the biggest crew in studio we've had in a long time?
I think so.
I think so.
We're up to 4 now.
Yep.
Okay,
Sweet.
so we were talking about the smell in this house. Miss, we just went through the whole talking about,
Okay.
getting scared crapless.
Gotcha.
You didn't see anything, right?
I did not see anything at all, but I was not looking either. I was
But you
just
saw
doing my
things.
thing,
Yeah.
and I was out of there.
You saw things before,
Yes.
and we talked about how you thought you saw Gran up
Yep.
there floating around.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my only experience really up there.
That's your only one?
minus the one with the gun where I went running downstairs.
You thought somebody was downstairs one time.
Yeah, there was weird noises banging along the far side of the house, and I went and took my gun. I never take my gun.
Mm-hmm.
And I took my gun down there, scared half of my mind. Nothing was there.
Okay, so
That's my stories.
that's your stories.
Yes.
I did see one other one before that. I was down in Big Pap's house. Thought I saw somebody walking up the driveway, but it was just one of those real quick, like shadow, where you thought your eyes. Most of this is where I think my eyes are playing tricks on me.
But then when you add it all up,
Yeah, and then my eyes don't play tricks with me at my house. You know what I mean?
Okay, I was going to say, why is it's happening at one area, though, which are multiple people, and then we come to our house and there's nothing at all?
Right.
That's what gets me.
Right.
I think in review, what I'm seeing, you said you went over there at one time and nothing happened. Well,
Right.
you were, but then y'all two were doing it and then stuff happened. I think I'm messing with them on purpose. I think you're going to the house, stomping and snoring, say, "Hey, this is Phil and John. Hey, ghosts!
Do y'all ghosts listen to Hillbilly broadcast?
We're coming to take her. Ooh, come on out, ghosts! Ain't nobody scared of you."
Right?
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
And then when they actually come, see you messing with them. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Leave them alone. See, y'all up no good.
Yeah.
Y'all are some mischievous some of them guns.
Okay, but there was one of these two over here. These two over here said one of them wanted to get a spirit box.
I said
To
that.
hear. Are you
I said
admitting
that.
Oh, I was
it?
on John's
I
part.
read it now. It done spoke to me.
Yeah, they already spoke to him without the spirit box,
Yeah.
and we don't need it no more.
What's the use about a spirit box? He whispered right in my ear.
You got a spirit box? Would you get from Amazon?
Now he talked about it. We never went through
Yeah,
it.
no, I never got one.
Yeah, thank God.
Hey,
I don't need one now.
Sparks. Leave them alone. Leave them
Well, I
alone.
figured I'd take you up there with me
No,
to try it
no,
out.
you're not. Because y'all be stomping and roar. Yeah, the Spark Brothers are here. Yeah.
And we bought Byron. Give it
And
to
we
me.
brought Byron. We brought the biggest MF up in here. What y'all gonna do right now? It's gonna be like you know the movie Ghost. The movie Ghost, they took that black guy, took him away, right? That's what's gonna happen.
But isn't the black guy in all the movies the ones that dies first?
Exactly.
He does, doesn't he?
And then here's the deal. And then Key and Peele makes, those are black actors and
Yeah.
the comedians. They make ghost movies with with black people in it. It's like, no, that's fiction.
Yeah.
Because first of all, black folks ain't gonna be no spooky house.
So Medea's haunted house and our Boo Halloween is
That ain't real.
that ain't real.
No.
So Byron, really, you're the one that can't go up there.
Right.
Exactly.
But the black dude always dies first. in this place.
Exactly. So no.
And Julie will be calling us all ticked off.
Exactly. She gonna be ticked off when there's no life insurance coming to her.
She'll be sitting pretty, huh?
No, she won't be. She'll be
Oh, she won't?
The exact opposite.
exact opposite. I ain't got it yet.
You better get it. You're not getting younger, right?
I guess so.
They say get younger. I have one on Phil,
Yeah, so if something happens to me, y'all know what happened.
but it's less than mine. So if I die, then ooh.
Well, now we got to watch both sides of this.
Yeah. It's went from a ghost story to a true crime episode.
Exactly.
It's like Dateline. So we were talking about the smell. Mm-hmm. We went up there.
that smell?
Yeah. So it smelled like something rotted, which could have been. There's probably dead mice up there, right?
I would not be surprised.
But we walked back through the main area in this house, walked back to the bedroom. Nothing, right? Just smelled like a musty house, right? When we walked out of there, all of a sudden I was like, what in the world? So the area we just walked through didn't smell nothing. When we walked back out of there, smelled like death itself had farted in my face. The Grim Reaper. Yeah, hadn't taken a shower. And
It's just to clarify though, it didn't smell like a dead mouse though, really. Did it smell like a dead
that's
mouse
what
to
he's
you?
saying.
No, it didn't.
It was a weird smell.
it was weird.
Because, dead mice have that distinct
Yes.
smell that you... Yeah, this was just...
This was weird.
Yeah, this was definitely like... To me, it smelled like rotted meat,
Yeah.
which I've And like we was in that bedroom, and you couldn't smell it even when you was close to the door. It was when you stepped, you had to step out of that room, and then that's when you could smell it.
Well, to me, that's what I'm saying. Lord knows what's in that house. It's been sitting empty for
Almost
over a year.
Yeah, almost 2
Okay.
years.
Yeah. So Lord knows what's there. But if it was there, we would have smelled it on the way in.
Right.
Sorry, I just saw headlights coming up the lane, and I'm like, we're talking about ghosts. I can't be seeing headlights right now.
Area 51.
So we smelled that, went out of there, was like, okay, weird. Today, Mom was up there in that same room. They walked in, nothing. She walked out. She smelled cigar smoke. She thought it was me and John. Because me and him get down with some cigars every night. She's like, them boys must be out there lighting them up.
No.
Which I thought was funny because she's already caught on to our lingo. We said, we're going to go light up a couple cigars. And Mom said, I thought they done lit up a cigar.
They was lighting up out there.
Mom's getting all in on
Thought
the
they get them
words.
down. But, yeah, which I thought was weird. Why would you smell cigars?
Right.
Which we hadn't. I mean, I had a pack,
No.
but they wouldn't even open.
But afterwards, we got nervous, and we tore apart a couple.
It's like a couple freight trains up
And
on
you
that.
got the choo-chooing.
I mean, we was making her fly.
No.
And I will tell you this, though, John, because you said when we went down to the workshop on that property, because Pap, he had a building that he built for, man, he'd built everything in there.
It was mainly a wood shop.
Wood
though.
shop, yeah.
Yeah, because he had other building like the air compressor and the welder and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that was mainly just a wood shop he had down there.
Yes, it was. Well, we went down there, and it felt all right. We did not go in the basement of this house. We knew better than that. Mm-hmm. And we went to the wood shop, and I think it was just me feeling a little anxious because of what had just happened, because you just told me, hey, something, Satan was whispering sweet nothings into my ear. And
Oh, no.
I just seen, a cat that wasn't there running around in circles. So I was already kind of hyped up, and I'm just kind of like, I was ready to get out of there. I didn't smell anything when we walked into that wood shop, but when we were there for a little while, I started smelling that smell.
See, I never smelled it down there.
Then in hindsight, I hadn't had a shower for several days.
Yeah, right. No.
But no,
Okay, but didn't Mom say?
man, it's getting bigger in here. We got
Hey,
we got old Jeff over there now.
We're doing a podcast. And then Mom said that whenever they were downstairs, there was stuff walking around in the kitchen.
How you doing,
Well, you
sir?
said that.
How you doing?
You said Jeff's assaulting our guests.
Hey, I got a daddy joke for you.
What you got?
Okay.
Yeah, you
Hit
know
us.
why a duck has feathers?
Why?
To cover up his duck quack.
Car crash, car crash.
That man survived COVID. That's his calling.
He's a dad joke. He's a dad joke.
His calling to be Zen Master of Dad Jokes.
Oh my goodness.
What were you saying, Miss, before Byron got assaulted over here?
He's like, what's going on? Mom,
Byron he really thought his mama might have been right.
Shouldn't be hanging out with all them white people.
Shouldn't be on that podcast. You're going to get beat up down there.
You're in the wrong part of town, West Virginia.
Dude, my stomach
he was
started
worried he's
hurting.
gonna die.
Byron goes back. Mama, you was right.
He was right,
There was
Mama.
a little old white bearded man beat me up down there.
And all the ones just start laughing at me recording, too.
Oh, jeez. What were you saying, Miss?
Well, Mom just said that whenever, I guess there were some people downstairs in the basement, in the kitchen, there was stuff walking around.
That was today, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that
happened
was today. Because Bill wouldn't set foot in the house.
No, I didn't until later. Roger was like, hey, come in here and get a picture of this for me. I'm like, great. He was wanting a picture of some cabinets or something like that. So I walked in to take that for him. But before that, no, I hadn't set foot in there because I was like,
there was 4 of us downstairs looking through some stuff.
well, and I wanted Roger to meet Anderson, but I was
Right.
like, but we were just meeting him up there. And I told Miss yesterday, I was like, I've read stories in the Bible and every horror movie ever made. shows that demons like little kids, and I ain't playing them games. I ain't taking him up there.
He's fresh out of Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, yeah. So we didn't.
Ain't even a week old yet.
Right, and so we went up there. So you went inside the house. You went downstairs, right? And everybody was downstairs.
Yeah. There's 4 of us down there, and we was in we went down the stairs. So we was in that room straight across. You got the music room here.
Yeah, that middle room.
Yeah, it was in the middle room. That music room is below the kitchen. And you know how that kitchen floor is always squeaked. It's always had a squeak in that kitchen floor. And I was hearing that squeaking, and it wasn't just one; it was multiple.
Sounded like footsteps.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Were you the only one that heard it?
Yeah, I was the only one that heard it.
Everybody else was
Because I
what?
was kind of standing right in the doorway of that second room.
Doc, what were you drinking before you went in there?
I don't know. You want to swig of it?
Man, I'm powerful.
Got some of that mystery juice.
Nothing before, but you tore it up afterwards.
You're dang right. But I was the only one that heard that. But see, we go down to that wood shop, and I'm fine down there.
Yeah, I've
I don't
never
get-
had any bad experiences.
I
in the
never
wood shop.
get a weird feeling down there at the wood shop.
Never did.
It's only at that house and that camper. I told you I wouldn't even.
You don't like that old camper,
I
do
wouldn't
you?
go near that old camper. Heck no.
Why?
There's an old man with a banjo sitting in there.
Ew, it's scary.
He whistles Dixie at you as you walk past.
Didn't Grandpa Pap hear voices?
I don't think Pap did, but Great Grandpa did.
That's what I mean. Grandpa.
Well, he heard.
Great Grandpa. Yeah.
I don't think he heard voices. He heard tapping on the wall
It would go all the way down the side
at
of
his house, which is separate from the main house.
Yeah, it was basically like a cottage. It's just a living room.
Yeah, about
very small kitchen, a bathroom.
what, 60 yards off the main house, something like
I
that.
hear voices all the time. I feel right at home.
Byron's tapping out.
Yeah, he's like, I know.
Happy the choco.
He's trying to Freddie Gray you. Do I have it right? Who was the guy who got choked out in New York City?
With the Juicy Lucy's. Freddie Gray.
Byron, I can't breathe.
Oh no!
We're gonna get kicked off.
Floyd. Oh
We're gonna get kicked off Spotify and every podcast.
Exactly. But unlike him, I wasn't selling illegal cigarettes.
Byron actually was
fighting.
innocent.
I was
no!
innocent.
Soaked in fentanyl.
He's just trying to enjoy a podcast.
Just trying to mind my own business and getting hijacked and kidnapped and beat up. And
Let's just say Missy's dad's about half the size of Byron.
Right. And if they can get Byron down, we're done. The story's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Byron,
That would be like Big John from The Green Mile taking down the little Pee-wee
yeah,
guy.
the little dude.
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've seen that movie. That's good movie.
I can't watch that movie. That's sad.
It's one of them I like to watch, except for the ending. You can't watch
Yeah.
because the ending's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, why did Big John
I'm
have
not
to
crying, you're
die?
crying.
And he died in real life, too.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He had a heart attack or something.
He was a good actor.
Very
Yeah.
good.
That was one big dude, man.
He was
man.
huge.
Dude, can you imagine? 'Cause I remember can you imagine even filming that scene where he has to grab,
Tom Hanks.
has to grab his crotch.
If I could done, oh my lord!
I hope he knows we're filming this because he's about to crush me.
That's one of those, you have one take and you're done.
Permanently be singing falsetto.
Is that Anderson's first time in the studio, Miss?
It might be Anderson's first time.
It is his
Hopefully
first time.
she don't try to kill me neither.
She's gonna choke you out too.
Anderson might try to.
His little baby hair come out.
We have derailed this from so many topics. Yeah.
I got tears running out my eyes.
Just thinking about Anderson. Getting her ear naked choke.
Oh no.
I don't even know where we were at.
I know.
Spiraling out of control.
Well, you've been off the air for what's the reason why? Obviously, do they know? Does your
That's a good point. We haven't really addressed it.
Well, do you want to, or are we going to save that
Miss
for
had
a
a very,
different?
very bad medical condition.
I did. I had a parasite that was growing inside me.
She had a parasite.
She had a couple cells.
Yeah.
You got a couple cells, Miss. Yeah, Miss, update them.
Well,
Because we talked about it for a while, but we never really announced.
Yeah. So, do you want me to give the details or just announce it?
Well, whatever. I mean, we don't have to go into how many times, breathe,
Let's see. I was
breathe.
pushing. Let's see. No.
Pushing
No.
what?
No.
There we go.
All right, sorry.
Goodness. Okay. So, Sunday morning, 8:33 is I went to give birth to the little baby, and yeah, that's it.
It was what, the 26th of June?
Of June.
Heck yeah.
Gave birth to a beautiful little bouncing baby boy.
Yeah. Yeah. 8 pounds, 4 ounces.
Eight
Job,
pounds
Phil,
full.
you did it.
I did it.
He finally figured it out.
12 years after
Took me
marriage.
12 years, boy.
No.
12 years.
That swimmer finally hit his mark.
I've been practicing accents a long time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I'm a good little man.
I remember,
Right.
I remember that one guy I used to go to church with. Remember, he's working at that roofing company. And they said, when are you going to start having kids? He said, I don't know how.
It's a good excuse. Well, it was weird because me and Miss got married before pretty much any of our friends.
Yep.
And now most of our friends have gotten married and have like 3 kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been married almost 12 years now, Miss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine how many people would look at us and be like, oh, look at them. Poor people can't have kids.
They can't have
We're
kids.
like, no, we're just scared.
I'm scared, slap the
No,
dad.
it's
I'm
called,
scared.
Your wife wants to go to school.
Yeah. And your husband is half retarded. He wasn't on Adderall yet.
Yeah, he wasn't on that. He wasn't on meth yet.
So, yeah, you made it through. You made it all right.
So now you're itching like Seneca and holding the baby.
I'm scratching, digging
Getting
myself.
with them babies.
How you doing, son? Yeah, you made it all right. And so this is the first one we've recorded actually in a while because we stored up several
Yeah.
beforehand. And, yeah, everything's good. It's still weird, though. I look at him and I'm like, I'm not sure if you're supposed to be here or not. You know what I mean?
But
It's
here
too
you
late
be.
now.
Yeah.
Here you be.
Too late.
Are we done with the haunted house thing?
Might as well be. We've moved
I
on.
think we are.
Yeah,
We done passed that up. Byron, tell them we weren't rolling when you talked about black people and ghosts. What did you say about black people and ghosts?
They don't mix.
They don't mix.
They don't mix.
Black people and ghosts don't mix.
We just like, you know what? This is your house. Y'all can have it. Done.
Well, that's true though, because that's Zach Baggins. Remember he bought that house, and that lady had her entire family that was there.
Do you watch Ghost Adventures?
No, I do not. What's it on?
I just
What
want
channel?
Is it Travel Channel?
It's
Miss?
a Discovery.
Is that Zach Baggins?
Discovery.
It's on Discovery Plus, but it actually airs on the Travel Channel, I think. And this dude, he's kind of douchey a little bit.
He's a little rough around the edges.
But go ahead.
And
You were
he
talking
He's
about.
spending all his money on his ghost trackers.
He did. So he bought
pretty
this
much did.
house, and I guess the person that lived there, she was a black lady, and she was talking about how she like all this stuff was going on and everything. And she said one of the rooms, she said, I hate that hallway. That right there, I hate that one room. That's a terrible one.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
she
one of
was
the-
not messing with it at
It's
all.
one of the bedrooms.
Was it a bedroom? Okay.
Yeah, it was a bedroom that she just like because she stepped in that room and then turned around and come out. She's like, I hate that room.
Yeah, she was like, I don't go
She
in that
said
room.
that was my bedroom and I hate it.
Yeah.
I just wear my clerical collar and they're all running.
Oh dear, dear.
Hit the button, Byron.
There we go. I can't.
He's getting the song.
And if you don't mind your P's and Q's,
Look
you're
at
going to
him.
be
Look at him.
right
See?
in the butt.
Look at him. Look at him.
Byron is getting assaulted on the air.
Don't.
God. Well, so most of those ghost shows, to me, it's TV. All right, so I'm right off the bat. I'm like, all right, y'all's faking this stuff. Or if you're not faking all of it, you're going to fake a little bit just to make it better. But that one you were talking about, Miss, where he bought that house in Gary, Indiana.
And that
Yeah.
police officer, remember that black police officer? He thought it was the most hilarious thing in the world.
Dude, I
He
love
was
hearing
so funny.
like old black dudes describe things. I think they make it's entertaining. They do the best job of it. I think it should be a requirement. Like the press secretary
Okay.
at the White House should be like a
Alright.
60-year-old black dude.
So
Just
we
let
need
him be
to-
like
70.
Go ahead.
I remember that guy said he went.
This is
he
from
left
Miranda.
that house.
This cries
Is he
from
on the mic?
Miranda.
Look
He's
at
on
him.
a mic. Go ahead.
There he is.
You say something?
Bring us in, son.
Go ahead.
Take us out to commercial break.
What would you
Commercial
think if
break.
he grabbed that mic?
Because your
Just
mommy
hang
has to
on.
go.
He's got a deep voice like Jim Plank.
But remember that black cop? He said he left. He went to a gas station. He said his radio, like your normal, radio. It wasn't like his police radio. But he said it just went to static.
Yeah.
And then the way that he talked, he said a voice come there and said, "Who in there?"
Who said that?
It was great. It was
Who
great.
in there?
It was great. Yeah, but that one did seem real because he had so many. He did like a special on it, and so he did like what, an hour or so.
Well, he actually put out 2 episodes of it.
Yeah,
It's
and
like-
each episode was a couple hours long, right?
It was very long, yeah.
So it was just centered around this one in Indiana, and I remember when that whole thing was happening in Gary, that it was hitting like Fox News because there was supposedly the CPS worker and stuff was saying that the kid had walked backwards up the wall, and this was like the CPS workers. It wasn't some crackhead on the street. And we're getting Jeff mic'd up now. It's about to get Byron. You get ready on that button. We're gonna need that button smashed.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about this spook stuff. You know what? We're going to be like Elvis Presley. We're all going to be shook up.
There we go.
Oh, there's already one.
There's one.
But anyway, so he had all these. He had interviews with the actual people there. Like he interviewed the CPS lady, and it didn't look fake to me.
No, his other ones, they make it. They really ham it up.
Yeah.
They'll hear a knock with them. Oh, did you hear that? But like that one, it was.
That's what most ghost shows are. They're just like, did you hear that?
And then they go to commercial.
Yeah, go to commercial.
I do think that one. The documentary is called Demon House, and
What do we see on Discovery Plus? Something like that.
I think it's what it's on. Yeah, I think it streams on there.
Byron, you feel like going into this? I'll ask you a couple questions real quick.
What's up?
I know we've been going about an hour, so you just tell me when to hit that button.
Oh no, I got all day.
We got all day. All
All
right.
kind of stuff going
I
on.
like it when we get a guest that don't care about the time.
I don't care
constraints.
about the time now.
You messaged me a while back and you said we need to talk about abortion.
Hey, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
What. Oh, man. Phew. That's a politically charged.
It is.
Just
And
give us
it's-
your generalized.
Yeah. Why do
feelings
you
on
care
it.
about it? And why should anybody else care about it?
Here's the deal. Like, you'd be surprised. Most of my family are pro-choice. At one point in time, I was pro-choice.
Really?
My ex-wife was my ex-wife still is pro-choice. And once you realize, like, get the information of what's going on, it's just like, okay, wow. And also, when you read scripture in the Bible, it says, God doesn't like the hands that shed innocent blood.
Some blood. Right.
And that's innocent blood. I mean, it's not a clump of cells. It's literally, once that sperm hits that egg,
Right. It's there.
it's there.
So what brought you from pro-choice to pro-life? How'd you
Well,
make that jump?
Bible.
Just started.
Start reading the Bible and start, taking my Christianity more seriously.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
And like I said, it's a baby. And it's not like women are having random babies just out of nowhere. You know where they're coming from. The man has to do something.
Yeah. You know
Man
what it
has to
takes
have
for-
sex.
Right. Right.
So if you don't want to have a baby, don't have sex. As a matter of fact, you're not supposed to have a sex anyway unless you're married.
Right. If you're following
And
the Bible,
Christians
right.
know that. But
Right.
sometimes Christians don't follow that. So don't have sex until you're married. And if you don't want to have kids, somebody get their tubes tied, somebody get a vasectomy. There's ways on not getting pregnant.
Yeah. Or
But,
go to the.
but people don't want to do it. It's responsibility, accountability, consequences.
Well, and without sounding too vulgar, I mean, like I said, me and Miss been married for 12 years. You had our first kid. You think it was hands off the entire time? Heck no.
Yeah.
There's certain things you do.
Yeah, you go down and get you a box of prophylactics. You know what I mean?
You can go to the health department and get a box of them for free if you so desire. So,
There are many ways to prevent pregnancy
right.
without using abortion, because I do
Right.
feel like that's what it is.
And
they just want to, have it unprotected, and then, it's like, oh well, I'm pregnant. I'm just going, go down to the abortion clinic and have my birth control. And that's because if it's a medical thing, it's like, hey, it's basically one or both of you. You know what I mean? There are reasons that it has to be done.
Yeah, I can understand.
I understand that. That's fine.
That's a fairly rare occasion, though, right?
Right. Yeah. It is.
But still, yeah, I understand it.
Yeah, out of the however many, hundreds of thousands of pregnancies and stuff we have like every year.
Right.
It is a rare thing. But that's just the way I feel about it. It's used as a birth control thing.
And as men, we need to do a better job. Like, we shouldn't be having sex unless we're married anyway. We need to talk about this before we even get married. First of all, as a man, do you want to have kids? Yes or no? If yes, fine. You know what to do. Do it. If you don't want to have kids, then you need to take the necessary steps to prevent you from having kids while being married and still having sex.
Right.
That's fine. But as men, we need to do, but that's the problem. We're letting these women, we're scared to say anything because, we're men. So they think that we shouldn't have a say what they should do with their bodies.
Yeah, they take the approach that, well, if you're not a woman, you can't have an opinion on it.
Yeah, but no, I do have, especially
right.
If the one that did it, and that's your baby they're trying to kill.
Sure.
No, there's some that at their abortion clinics that the men will drive and demand that you need to, and sometimes the woman don't want to, but that man will make them. And there's people out there, there's street preachers that'll be in the abortion clinic and tell them, don't kill your, you don't have to kill your baby. Please don't kill your baby. And the man that took the woman to the abortion clinic will get in the street preacher's face and try to fight him and stuff because they don't want.
Gee whiz.
Huh?
I said, gee whiz, that's.
Yeah. Because I follow a couple of street preachers, and they go to abortion clinics and stuff, and they go and rebuke these people. And we get these men that want to drive their mistress or whatever to the abortion clinic and kill a baby.
Mm-hmm. I get the street preacher thing, and I think highly of them for doing that because that's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I feel like the people going there are so set in their ways that they're going to look at a street preacher as just like he's just some maniac. It's my body, my choice. This is somebody trying to tell me what I can and can't do with my body. And
they are set in their ways.
It sure does seem like it.
They are. So like I said, with the men, even in the beginning in Genesis, when Eve was deceived by the serpent, when God came, he didn't call on Eve. He said, Adam, where are you?
Well, that's a good point.
Where are you?
Yeah.
And then, of course,
they'd both messed up, but he called for Adam. Yeah.
He didn't say Eve, where he said, Adam, where are you?
Yep.
In that event, then, with that in mind, brother, and I've given that consideration. Why did he call on him? Unless, of course, he was faulty in his own responsibility by not keeping a handle on his own or on his home. Eve was deceived. Adam was not. He went into that thing with his eyes wide open.
But wasn't he deceived by Eve after the fact?
He took it. Eve was right there. She wanted to be more like. This is a thought. She wanted to be more spiritual in the effort to be like God. That's commendable, in my opinion. Granted, she fell from grace when God said, "Don't even touch the thing. You're forbidden." But then she was credulous in her nature, where it basically means her curiosity got the better of her, and she took the hook, line, and sinker when the devil said, "You'll not die. You'll be as God."
Yeah.
And my thought is, I don't know, to be like God? I think that's one thought where women, or I think in my opinion, are maybe cut from a little higher at a higher level to be more spiritual than men.
Amen.
My wife said amen. And I think if it weren't for a lot of women today in churches, a lot of them would be closed down. But for her to want to be more like God without really knowing the consequences of her disobedience is commendable in the effort that, wow, I could be more like God. And I want to be more spiritual. But she forgot the main ingredient as far as thus saith the Lord, don't do this. The sin, committing the sin of commission. Where Adam realized what his wife had done, and I think he, for whatever reason, he just followed the suit, agreed with his wife, and became as disobedient as Eve, but I think that he walked into it with his eyes wide open. And that's why I think, because Adam was the head of the home, he should have put more restraint on his wife, maybe should have protected her at that place. And he must have been in the vicinity, because right after she had taken, he was invited to indulge.
Yeah, I would love to see the scene about, like, where was he at when all this happened?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really explain it.
That's a good point.
Like, was he, like, 100 yards away? How far was he? Was he, like, right there? We don't know.
How soon after did she eat that he ate? I believe it's the right closely following.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've always thought, but I don't really know for sure, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, Jeff, bring us back. And by the way, you're making your first appearance since you were down with COVID. So Jeff's still among the living. What the last time was? October?
If he ain't, I'm getting off this podcast.
That's the truth.
Maybe Jeff was the ghost that was messing with you.
It could have been.
Last time you were on here was what? Was it October, John? Because you were on, I believe.
I believe it was during 9/11.
Yeah, we did the 9/11 tribute. Yeah, so and I've been trying to tell him for a long time. Our biggest episode ever. To the point it continues to grow. I have no idea why, because he's sitting here healthy now, has been for months. But our biggest episode ever was us updating people on your condition when you were in for COVID. I mean, it's like it blows away every other episode we've ever done. But from your perspective, so we're talking about abortion, because there are Christians, supposed Christians, that are pro-choice. How do you push back against that and do it effectively? Because they're going to say, like, I guess the big debate with this thing is, when does life begin? I think liberals or leftists, they have more faith than even I do, because they, not to be crude, but they somehow think that the vagina is some kind of magic thing that as soon as you pass through that, all of a sudden you have life, which to me is baloney. There's signs of life. Jeff went with Miss to ultrasound appointments. I went. It's like, that thing's alive. He's been alive for a while. But Dad, is just curious, like, how do you push back? What's your thoughts on that?
It's pretty hard to keep from being strongly inviting on both sides. You can't have it both ways. I think. I had given it some thought. Can you actually be a Christian and then invite that idea of my body, God given? He's given me freedom to do as I choose. But I don't know. I would have to question if it's even my place to do so. Their depth in their Christianity and their faith in Christ. And how can you escape the fact of growing in grace and water down the idea, as Brother Byron mentioned, about the shedding of innocent blood or even the taking of another person's life? I don't know how they can say I am a born-again believer, but I still am pro-choice.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Unless they're not reading their scriptures, or if they're just totally oblivious to interpretation as to God's opinion about the matter.
I'm gonna throw an argument out as if I'm on the pro-choice side.
Yeah, give us the old devil's advocate there. Okay. Since you was hanging out with the devil yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. So, speaking as a female, it's pro-choice.
You're a female that's pro-choice. Okay, good.
Okay.
Is he a Christian or claim to be a Christian or just whatever?
No, just
The devil's
just,
advocate.
Okay,
Yeah.
the devil's
Just in
advocate. Okay.
general.
Okay, so you're saying that I shouldn't be able to have an abortion.
Right.
Okay, what if I've been raped
Okay.
and I get pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Then every day when I see that child, I'm going to be reminded of that. Why shouldn't I be able to get an abortion?
I see Byron steam rolling out of his ears. Byron, you
Well, no,
feel
it's
that
just
way?
I've heard that argument. Okay, rape and incest, which is less than 1%.
Right.
They always use that, and we've wrapped this whole world up about the minority, the 3%. 3% of the gays run the world, and the 1%. They always use the argument of 1%, less than 1% of the rape and incest. With that, all I can say is, I know of 2 people that has been raped, that have had their kids, that have had their babies, and I not once have. They've told me that when they look at that child, they see the person that raped them.
They say
They don't say that.
they don't say that.
They don't say that.
And the way I personally feel about it is people that are not fertile, that can't have their own kids. But just like those people we went to church with up at Fort Ashby.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good
They
people.
paid around $40,000 total to adopt a baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, there are people that will take that kid.
Watching Anderson go through his whole process and come into the world has really solidified my opinion on abortion, because you always hear about the rape and incest. In fact, there's a lot of people that call themselves pro-life that are even Republicans. They will say that they want an exception made for the life of the mother and rape or incest, that you should be able to abort in those cases. And to me, it's a terrible thing if it happens, and it does happen. So just like with my wife, if something happened to her, if she was raped, that is no more Anderson's fault than if she got a speeding ticket while she was pregnant. Anderson had nothing to do with that.
That's very true.
And that's the way I look at it. If you were raped, it's horrendous. It's awful. I hope they get him down and go snippy. You know what I mean? But
Well, first of all, I'll let you finish. But with the whole rape thing, if you go by the Bible, guess what? If you rape somebody, you're supposed to die. And that's another thing that we can do that. We can do that subject for another time. I'm just saying.
Byron flinging open cans of worms.
Well, I'm just saying. I follow a guy named Gabriel Hughes. He's a pastor, and he got kicked off of Twitter for this. He said, "What does abortion, adultery, bestiality, child sacrifice, homicide, homosexuality, idolatry, incest, and witchcraft have in common? The answer: they all deserve the death penalty."
When the woman was caught in adultery,
Yeah.
they were going to literally take her life by
Yeah.
Yes,
throwing
sir.
stones. You don't hear, though, where the man was at, because
Exactly.
he should have
Yep.
also been
Exactly.
included in that same.
They
That is
were trying to
correct.
trap him.
Yep, that's correct.
But that's like I said, that's the subject. If you want to do, we can do that another time. I just wanted to get out there. The problem is we're not with like the pedophilia. We're just all we're doing is putting a tag on him, sex offender.
I agree.
Which anywhere else,
I agree.
any other country, any other time, in a place, he'd have been dead.
Yeah. Well, I think, the New Testament's a different time to live in, but I do think it's that these are serious offenses, especially when we're talking about the abortion thing. To me, I have a hard time looking at that as anything other than killing a little baby. And I look at people, and these are just the thoughts I have. And I know that a lot of times people say, and I would agree, good Lord, that the whole convoy just went past. I would agree that going out to a protest and yelling baby killer at somebody is not going to do anything to help. It's not going to change nobody's mind. But at the same time, I have a hard time looking at them as anything other than a baby killer or somebody advocating. Because I look at, and a lot of people probably get mad at this because for some reason you compare anything to Nazi Germany and all of a sudden people get mad. But to me, the abortion that's went on in the U.S. is far greater than anything Hitler tried to do.
You're absolutely right.
When you compare the numbers, and I just, so when I see people like doing their whole, they're out there screaming in the streets, I'm like, that's an evil individual.
Yes.
That is an evil person.
It is.
And even though I wouldn't necessarily go up to them to try to change their mind and be like, hey, you're an evil sack. But I have a hard time looking at them as anything other than that.
I think what the street preachers are doing is rebuking, and usually rebuking somebody that has their mind set already. It usually doesn't work, but it's their job. It's the Ezekiel 33. You warn them of their evil ways. If you don't warn them, then the blood's on your hand if they die.
Yeah, that's a good.
So what they're doing is they're doing their job.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to, when they street preach, if they street preach for a year and get 2 people converted, that's their job.
That's a good point. Yeah, very good.
But you're not going to, more than likely, you're not going to turn them in the right direction. But you're just warning them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cruel messenger.
So
got you breathing deep.
You got me breathing deep, man.
So just looking back, 2019,
Okay.
there were 629,898 abortions in the U.S.
And see, what used to bother me too is it's hard to get anybody excited about that number. I remember sometimes you just mention that, like in a church gathering or something, people just be like, "Yeah," and it's like, do you understand how many kids that is? It's like we're so desensitized to it, And but I have a hard time when I'm sitting. Obviously, I'm not going to treat these people like that, but I have a hard time when I look at Chuck Schumer, and I'm not even a Republican, but when I look at Chuck Schumer, I just see an evil individual. When he was up there threatening those Supreme Court justices at that time, because we want to kill our kids.
That's what demons do.
I think you're right.
You should have saw when they overturned. You should have come on Twitter. Felipe Sharks at Felipe Sharks.
I got to ask you about that name too. Where'd you get that name from?
Okay, long story. There is because y'all don't watch sports. I watch sports, so you don't have to. There was a guy in the 90s from New York Giants named Felipe Sparks with a P, Felipe Sparks. And Jordan Sparks, the singer, that's his daughter. So I named myself
Felipe Sharks.
Felipe. Well, I was arguing with somebody on Twitter. Of course. Why? Of course. I got no better to do. And she had the nerve to call me Felipe. And I'm like, do I look Mexican to you? And it's like, look at the size of these lips. These lips are huge.
These ain't no Mexican lips.
Ain't no Mexican got these big lips. So I'm thinking, Felipe. And she spelled it with an F. I'm like, Felipe Sharks. So that's what that for on all my socials is at Felipe Sharks.
I like
Felipe
it.
_Sharks. But anyway, yeah. I mean, you saw on Twitter like it was like straight vile.
Yeah.
Like people on the AOC and Elizabeth Warren and just screaming and veins bulging and eyes popping out. They were upset.
It's one of those things. I am so open to listen to the other side on so many things. And I'll even listen to it on that one. But it's like, you will not change my mind. To me, that is very simple.
No, you can't. And I'm not going to debate. There's things I don't debate. I don't debate the Bible.
Yeah.
I don't debate. And I don't debate. I'm on that. I'm on this side. I'm on
there.
pro-life.
I'm stuck there. It's a moral issue. It's black and white to me. It's simple as can be.
Ain't no gray area.
Yeah.
So, and that, but the problem, like I said, the problem is with these men, with us, we're not allowed to talk about it. But, whoever's listening out here, get over it. You got 4 men. 4 men.
Yeah.
Don't talk about this, so get over it. We are not doing our jobs by not talking about it. We need to talk about this. And that's the problem with this America now. It's been emasculated. I'm not even going to talk about the guys wearing dresses, especially black men. You see these black men in dresses, and people just think it's like like it's nothing.
You mean Medina wears dresses?
No, I'm talking about basketball players.
Oh, I thought Medina.
Look up
Medina, the Tyler Perry movie?
Yeah. But it's like, to be honest, you guys can't pick out a black woman that's 6'5" and you can't dress her up as an older woman. And I'm being honest.
Good point. I do feel weird when I watch those movies because I'm like,
but just look up Google Russell Westbrook in a dress. Google Lil Nas X in a dress. Google black men in a dress. I mean,
it's weird, man. Me and John was just talking about this the other night, and we've hit on so many topics on this. We could make like three episodes out of this. Mm-hmm. But we were just talking about this, how masculinity is going. Because me and John's been getting into cigars a lot lately. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've been into them for a while, but we really tore into them lately.
Yeah, we're really taking it seriously.
And we were sitting last night around the fire and talking about just how much like masculinity is gone, even to the point of sitting and smoking a cigar. Like men don't do that. They don't do masculine things. They don't dress masculine. They don't take any pride. And I mean, when I say pride, I don't mean like the bad pride, but just kind of like, self-respect. Mm-hmm. They don't speak out on issues. They don't speak their mind. They don't. Mm-hmm. It's like, where is this going?
Because they're scared.
Yeah, like women start mouthing and the men are just supposed to cower.
You know, they're supposed to get scared.
Yeah.
Guys, we've been running for about an hour and a half. We've covered everything from ghost stories
to abortion,
and we hit something manliness. Mm-hmm. We've covered it all. I imagine we probably should go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
This has been,
but there's so much that we can talk about.
I know.
With church discipline, I don't think y'all talked about that yet. Even with, because I know you talk a lot about the holiness movement,
right?
And
I'm being
honest, I don't listen because it's like I don't like stories about abuse.
I think I completely agree. There's people like that. Yes.
I get upset, and there's nothing, and I can't get mad before I go to work. You know what I'm saying? It's just thinking about this stuff. It's like,
Right.
So anytime I hear anything about holiness, I get upset.
Honestly, we've tried to back off of it a little bit for that very thing.
But no, I'm glad you guys are talking about. I mean, you need to, because with churches, they abuse the power.
A lot of them do.
God gives the Christian power, money, and sex. Those are good. Power, money, and sex are good.
Sure.
But without that heart change, you'll get the church we have now.
That's going to be the name of my memoirs, Power, Money, and Sex. The Phil Sparks story.
Your autobiography.
But we could talk about so much, but we might as well end it because we'll be here for another 90 minutes.
We'd be here for another 90 minutes.
You better not go around the table and ask if we have anything because everybody's going to have a lot more to say.
Oh, I know. I picked a terrible time to cut it off, but I figured. Byron, it's been great to have you in the studio, man.
Most definitely.
It's the first time. This is awesome.
Yeah, every because I come every 4th of July.
That you do.
And I'll be here.
We just make this just be a ritual of ours. Every 4th of July, you're going to be on.
Yeah, we just talk about random stuff.
Yep, you know who this is.
And you know who this is. At Felipe Sharks on all my socials.
Yep.
At Felipe_Sharks. Felipe with an F.
Felipe Sharks on all the socials. Jeff, it's been great to have you back, sir. There was a lot of people asked about you when you were down. You were almost down for the count there, but you good Lord saw fit to bring you back.
And he put me in a chokehold, so he's obviously okay. He's fine.
He did put Byron in a chokehold.
He's fine. COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
He came back from that COVID stronger than ever.
Yeah, it's been great to have
Taking
you.
down a man twice his size. And Byron down there on the floor of the studio wallering him around.
Byron comes to West Virginia. The only black man that's ever been on the show just immediately gets assaulted. As he walks in.
Wait till you hear from the NAACP.
And my brother, John Sparks, this is the first one you've been on for a while, ain't it?
Yeah, it has.
I caught him. I didn't. He walked in here. He was like, "How y'all doing?" I was like, "How about y'all pull that mic up there and just sit down?"
And Mariah, Kanan, we miss you.
We do. We miss you guys. Actually, the phone rang there. The people, I'll have it out in post, but the phone did ring in the middle of the show.
Was that them?
That was Kanan calling me. He was, I don't know, he's looking for something about Dave Ramsey. He's picked a fight with Dave Ramsey lately on the podcast.
Did he really?
He did.
What? You don't like Dave Ramsey?
I'm going to play I'm going to double team him because I was sitting there during this last. I was like, yeah, okay, good point. And now I'm going to join Byron's side on this.
You don't like Dave Ramsey?
He's He likes Dave, but I don't. He's got some things about him he don't like, which to
what?
me, I just kind of sit back. He's not a fan of. Oh man, I tell you what, we need to do
Yeah.
to make sure that you.
I want to hear
hold
what he
the
has to
record.
say. Yeah.
I need to bring you on.
Yeah.
And him. And me and John will hold a mic, and you guys fist fight about Dave Ramsey. Dude, seriously, I'll bring you on. And you can
Here's
argue
the deal
with him.
with Dave Ramsey.
You're in on it, right?
I am. I'm on the plan.
Yeah.
When I was 12 years old, my brother, who is 14 years older than me, beat me over the head about some Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, you need to listen to Dave Ramsey. 10-10-80, 10-10-80. Dave Ramsey, Dave Ramsey, beat me over the head.
Yep.
And then it's just like, I meet Julie, and guess what she has? The
Dave
big old
Ramsey.
book of Dave Ramsey.
Yep.
And I'm thinking,
The Book of Dave.
okay. And then I do it, and it's just like, well, I'm still on baby step number 2 because
Sure.
I have a lot of debt.
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yeah,
you'll
me
be on
too.
baby step number 2 for years. But if I'd have thought about that, and I would discipline on Dave Ramsey back when I was 12 and save. Remember, he said you could spend it, but just don't use credit cards.
Yeah.
You don't have to use credit cards.
Well, what we need to do, seriously, I've been wanting to have a good argument on this podcast. So we need to get Kane on here.
I bring Julie too, because Julie's a disciple of Dave Ramsey.
That's right, she is. She
She
posts
is.
about it there, about paying off some student loans, stuff like that. Yeah.
So I didn't know he didn't like that. And a lot of people fight with Dave. It's
They
just
do.
like, this ain't no, get rich quick scheme like on that Family Guy TV show with that Chinese guy with those ladies.
Right.
I better. I better than you. You want to see? You like my cars? You like my women? Calm down.
I gotta say, that's the first time I've ever heard a black man impersonate an Asian man.
It was pretty good though, man. I liked it. Yeah, let's bring Kane on, and you guys just have it out. I'll sit over there and just whoever's winning, I'll be like,
I agree.
good point.
I agree.
Very good point. I agree. I can ride a fence like nobody's business. What was that from The Office? Dwight said the key is to stretch out on it and put the post in your mouth. So that you don't fall off either side.
Yeah, but we should talk about that because it's like, I don't have a problem with him. I mean, the stuff that the plan that we're all is working.
Yeah, Kanan, you simpleton.
Yeah, he wants.
I always thought you was dumb.
Probably think he wants to buy that truck. He probably wants to buy another truck, don't he?
He's gonna buy him another truck.
Yeah.
Stick it, Kanan.